Now we're going to talk about manifest destiny. What is this? The burden of the white man's burden. What are we talking about? People have no memory. But for 200 years, these were the concepts that dominated the British Empire and the American Empire. And the concept of manifest destiny in the 1850s, 1870s, the white man's right, divine right to dominate the world. God gave us dominion over land, over animals, over the world. We can dominate and control everything. America's ours. The world is ours. And the British Empire, it's the duty of the white man to dominate and colonize the world, because the world are full of savages. The world are full of beasts. We are civilized. We are British. We are civilized. So, what is this? It's a justification for robbing, stealing, raping, and killing. You create a kind of doctrine. God gave us this. You invent a God that gives you the excuse to do horrible things and kill in the name of this or that God or this or that doctrine. And basically, it's a way that pirates have of calling themselves civilized. Because when you are a pirate, how do you become legit? You move from the Bahamas, Jamaica, and you go to North America and get to Boston, shave your beard, wear nice clothes, and say, I'm very civilized. I was with the natives and I civilized the natives. And once you shave your beard and change your clothes, you become a gentleman. How come? Because the money that you have gained from piracy by killing, robbing, and stealing, you invest in a trading company. And now you're an entrepreneur, businessman. And nobody wants to know how you got that money, what you did, how many people you killed. And this is how business was established in the Americas. So, how do you justify this? By saying it's manifest destiny. God, I'm doing God's work. God loves me. And so He ordained me to kill and rob and steal in His name. But it's not killing, robbing, and stealing. I'm just taking things for people who have no use of gold and silver and food and land. They're savages. We can kill them. So, we have to understand that this was the basic excuse for 200 years of colonialism and imperialism. But basically, it's the same thing happening for 2,000 years, since Rome, since the barbarian invasions, since the Barbary pirates, the pirates of the Caribbean, the Viking pirates. Nothing has changed. And American World Bank and the IMF going to the third world and telling people do this, do that, because it's going to benefit Europe and the United States and destroy the local economy, the local entrepreneurs. And the people of the global south had no clue, because they had been colonized, they had been exterminated, they had been alienated from civilization, from their brothers around the world, who they had traded with for centuries and centuries. They had lost their memories. They were in oblivion. So it's easy to fool someone who has no memory, no knowledge, no education. He's illiterate. So one of the reasons why you kill the leaders, you kill the intellectuals of a civilization is that after 1 or 2 generations, the younger generation have no memory anymore. And they believe what you tell them, that they're savages. And they work for you for free. So the question is, if you want to debunk 2,000 years of fake history, stolen history, 2,000 years of lies, fake history, fake ideology, fake gods, fake religions. You have to connect the dots, join the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, and you realize that over 2,000 years, it's the same story. Unfortunately, people who talk about geopolitics have no idea of history, ancient history. People who talk about politics have no idea of geography, which is the basis of geopolitics. And no one has an idea of climate. No one listens to meteorologists. No one cares about climatology. People live in their drawers, each in a little drawer, separated. Everybody's like us living in a sardine. They don't stick their head out and connect the dots and find out who is who, what is what's been going on. Nah? Here we go again. It's another war. It's the same thing. We want to dominate the world. We want everybody to be our slaves. Everybody's our enemy. So the basis of proxyism and the basis of the failure of all these concepts of the white man's burden, manifest destiny, is that if everyone is your enemy and everyone is your slave, you have no friends, you have no allies, and everybody becomes your enemy, and everybody discovers that if everybody gets together, you're finished. And eventually they get together. For the first years, the Vietnamese were on their own. Then the Chinese started helping them. Then the Russians started helping them. Then the Indians, all the so-called socialist countries started helping their socialist brothers. In Africa, once the Africans started trying to free themselves, the Cuban brothers went to help their African brothers. And then Russia intervened to help Cuba, help the Africans. And it was the end for Portugal, the end for all the colonialists in Europe. So remember this, to become the strong man, the big boss. We can see what happened to Saddam Hussein, to Gaddafi, what happened to Mubarak, what happened to Assad, and all these strong men and big bosses, and people get together and topple them. And if somebody else wants to play big boss, strong man, you just have to look at your watch and count the hours, count the days. It's not going to last very long. But civilization lasts for thousands of years. And the people who belong to a civilization that promotes them, promotes peace and prosperity, love their civilization. They love their mothers and grandmothers. They love their traditions. And it's impossible to defeat them. Sticks and stones can break my bones. Words can never hurt me. And after some time, my brothers and I, we will all get together. And once we get together, there are billions of us. And today, all these billions have access to nuclear bombs, to banking systems, to instant communication through the internet. So today, there's no point for the French trying to topple African regimes, because the Chinese, the Russians, and the Indians are there to help them. So we have to rethink the concept of manifest destiny, the white man's burden. God ordained us to conquer the world, enslave everybody. This has to be re-examined very, very closely. Because basically the people who put this into practice, the Europeans, the North Americans, and the Japanese, are disappearing very, very quickly. Thanks for watching.